Here's Quinnen Williams. He's not going to be breaking anything at the offseason program. I guess that's good. They don't have to worry about him throwing weights through the wall, which he's capable of doing. As he said himself, I understand, again, we got the newsbreakers have to check boxes and placate their producers and their editors. And, I broke this. I broke that. I broke this. It's not really breaking news that Quinnen Williams isn't going to show up for the offseason program day because he's already said without a new contract he wasn't showing up. So if he doesn't have a new contract, he's not showing up. We don't have to cite unnamed sources for the fact that he's not showing up. He's already said, folks, he's not showing up. So, big splash early Monday. Per sources, Quinnen Williams will not be attending the offseason program. No, he doesn't have a new contract. And this gets back to something I said with Devin White, and I've said it with others. By the time you get to year 5, if you are the guy and you're at year 5, fifth-year option on that round 1 rookie contract, the other side of the rookie wage scale that protects teams against a bust, making far more money than he ever will have earned.
Right.
The other side of that is when you scratch off a lottery ticket and it's a winner, don't play games, pay the guy.
Agreed, 100%. And this guy's a special player. Like we saw, Mike, he was one of those guys all Sunday last year, every Sunday. Quinnen Williams again. Quinnen Williams again. He's definitely in the convo for one of the best D tackles in football, right? And he's looking at a guy who was in the same draft as him and Jeffrey Simmons and going, okay, wait, he's making 23.5. Deron Payne just signed, he got franchised, right? Deron Payne, I don't know. Deron Payne got his contract.
But he signed 22.5.
22.5,
yes,
you're right. Okay, yep. So, he's looking at that going, wait, I'm in that class of player right there. So I don't know if he gets the same amount of money Jeffrey Simmons has, who's been kind of the cream of the crop of that 2019 draft class, but he certainly deserves to be right up there in that conversation. And, the Jets got to pay that guy. He's homegrown. He's the 3rd pick of the draft. He's done everything right. He's continued to work and get better. It wasn't perfect at first, but damn, why wouldn't you want to pay him and take advantage of what he's starting to become right now, which is one of the best defensive tackles in football?
And if I'm one of these fifth-year guys that has yet to get what I should have gotten on the way in, because I'm not one of the busts. I'm not one of the guys that's a problem. I'm not one of the guys that is taking away money that could go to others. I'm one of the guys who had my pocket picked, and it's yet to be replenished, even though I've earned my money. Right. I've earned my keep. And look, the closer you are to the ball, the closer you are to the fray, to the scrum, to that cluster of bodies, that 3D twister game where, the stakes are a lot more serious than everybody fell down and laughed. You get seriously injured when those bodies get all churned up. I think that your long-term and short-term health interests and the fact that you're just one snap away from having it all go away,
right,
it makes it even more imperative to draw a line in the sand. And look, it's just the early stage of the offseason program. I don't know how much pressure it puts on a team. It becomes more interesting at training camp. If these guys don't show up for training camp, these fifth-year guys who have yet to get their contracts, will they be there when you're talking about a significant daily fine? And that's one of the things the NFL has kind of quietly done in recent CBAs. Makes it harder for guys to exercise their right to not show up. I think we've evolved past that crusty get off my lawn rant. You've signed a contract. You have to honor your contract.
Oh, I know.
Kiss my butt over that. Gives you rights.
Right.
Yeah. There's a CBA that gives you rights. The problem is those rights have quietly eroded. It's gotten more expensive. Just the whole thing about when teams can waive fines, how much the fines are. There's different factors that make it a more expensive proposition for guys to hold out in training camp, and we'll see if it gets to that for Quinnen Williams, Christian Wilkins, and others who are trying to get that contract they deserve. Dexter Lawrence, not the same boat. They're
all in the same damn class.
Also.
I know, yeah. That's some draft class right there. It really is. But no, I think you said it right. And it is kind of BS with how they've set that up and like chopped a leg off, a leg of, only the few the players have as far as bargaining chips are concerned. It is. But the unintended consequence, Mike, and I think we've talked about this before, is I think the hold-in is a good thing. The hold-in is I like the hold-in. The hold-in is actually good for the player. I do. And I actually think in a lot of ways it puts pressure on the organization that they didn't realize they were going to have. That guy's around. He's pissed off. He's in your locker room telling everybody how crappy you guys are and not paying him. And he's your best player, and he ain't practicing. Your team doesn't look as good. And he's sitting there reminding you every day as he's sitting over there. You're going, damn, our defense would look a lot better out here if he was in there right now. Damn. So, and then what does the player get to do? He gets to work and still mentally engage and stay in shape. So, that has been one thing that I think was an unintended consequence that I like. But, yeah, it still is kind of BS the way they've set up these fines for these guys.
But still, for the hold-in, the team has to play along to a point. And we saw it last year finally reach a boiling point with the Bears and Roquan Smith.
Right.
Where it was like, dude, season starting.
Yeah.
You're either going to play or you're not going to play.
Right.
And we got close to it with T.J. Watt in Pittsburgh a couple of years ago. Like, at some point, you got to go get your helmet. At some point, we need to get ready for the season. We have games. The hold-in doesn't extend into week 1, week 2, week 3. You can't have it both ways, where you show up and you're here, and the team likes that. He's here. We know where he is. We can talk to him anytime we want.
Yep.
He's in our building. He's under our umbrella,
Yep.
but he's not doing anything. But if the team wants to play hardball, I think that's the next step. There's going to be one of these hold-ins where the team starts finding the guy for conduct detrimental, finding him for refusing to work, not just accepting it. Because once you're there, it's hard to leave.
Yeah.
Once you show up, it's hard to walk out the door. Back to DeAndre Hopkins, there was a time early in his career with the Texans where he wasn't happy with his contract, and there was a question he held out, and it was like he was there just long enough that the Texans were, I think, considering arguing he had showed up, because once you leave, again, the dynamic changes. You can land on the left squad list. You can be shut down for the whole year. It's just part of the game that gets played under the CBA. But you're right. For now, the safe harbor is the hold-in. Right. And maybe that's what these guys will do. They'll show up, but they just won't do anything.
Yeah.
And we'll wait to see if they get their contract. But the ultimate leverage is, at some point, we still have your rights for this year. At some point, we have to go play football.
Yeah. No.
And if they don't work it out, these guys have to at some point go play, or they get into some other issue. And I think we're still early in this process. At some point, it's going to happen where somebody shows up, holds in, stare down, and lines get drawn, and it's going to end up being a big, ugly mess that will cover every step of the way.
It seems like we're going that way. And I know we're going to break here, too, but you're right. And with this scenario, I'd be shocked if it got to this point with this guy. Right? This guy, Dexter Lawrence, Christian Wilkins, right? This is great problems. You hit the jackpot, teams. You hit it. You drafted the right guy. You developed him the right way. It's everything we always hear about. Pay the damn guys. And then they're both fit the scheme and the way they want to play. And so I would hope that it doesn't get to that point is all I'm saying. And I know we got to go to break.
Here's the other side of it, too. If you're going to hand $60 million this year, I know the cap number is going to be a lot lower. It doesn't matter. They're going to cut checks in the amount of $60 million to Aaron Rodgers at age 39 going on 40, who's never played for the Jets in his life. That's great. That's great. But you can't ignore the guys who are forming the nucleus that will help Aaron Rodgers be the best he can be. And if I'm Quinnen Williams, I'm more determined to get fairly compensated if they're giving $60 million to a guy who's pushing 40 to come in and try to elevate the team to the next level. I'm the guy that's helped get them to the level where there is a next level to elevate to, so they need to get him taken care of. All right, let's take a break. The Vikings took care of Dalvin Cook a couple of years ago. That contract still looming, driving a wedge. Where does it go from here for the Vikings and Dalvin Cook? We'll discuss that next on this Monday edition of PFT. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.